Levi with InterNACHI Marketing here again today. I wanted to do something a little bit different today and address a question we get a lot in the marketing department with two different logo designs. And the question I want to talk about is, why does the logo look cartoon-like? This always refers to like drawn things, obviously, and not necessarily other logo formats. But I'll start over here with a Wendy's logo. You can see up here the older version of the logo and the corrected and improved version down here at the bottom. As always with logo design, and I mentioned this in other videos, the way that the logo is going to trend is towards being more simple. So what they're doing is eliminating information. Now that's usually what you're going to do to correct a logo over time. The more complicated your logo is, the more you're probably going to have to fix later on. So up here you can see they corrected this figure. The line weights are a lot smaller. There are a lot more stripe details down here. What happens with this stuff is when the smaller the logo gets, the more this kind of blends into a gray and causes optical effects. Thin lines don't work well and don't hold up well to scaling because they start to blur together when the logo gets smaller. So part of what they corrected here is they simplified these lines. They made less of them, and they just used kind of this accent, and they used the chin line here to create like more of a shadow. And they also corrected the creepy sort of evil doll eyes up at the top and made them much more friendly down here. But they also, they made all of the lines more thick. They made the font more friendly, more rounded, and kind of gave it some movement. But those are some of the corrections there. I'll talk over here about the Saintly logo. So the reason this logo still works, this is a logo I created a long time ago, is that I zoomed into the figure. When you zoom in, it gives you more space for additional information without hurting the logo design. The problem with zooming out and trying to include the whole dog in a landscape and a house and 17 other things is that it doesn't hold up as well to scaling. And that's the most important thing about logo design, is whether or not the logo design works well when it's small. With something like illustration, it's fine to have all of the information because the image is consistently going to be 4 inches across or 3 inches across. So you'll have more space to see the information. But with something like logo design, it's going to be tiny most of the time. It's going to be less than like 3/4 of an inch on like a business card, on a brochure, at the top of a website. In some instances, you're going to get like 1/2 inch, maybe, probably less than that. So the logo needs to work well when it's small, or it will start to become difficult to see, like what had to be corrected up here with the Wendy's logo, where the figure kind of just starts to like blur together. So part of what zooming in is going to do with like something like this dog image is it's going to allow the line weight to be a bit thicker, which is where the sort of cartoon effect comes from, is that if the line is thicker, it's going to just hold up well when the image is smaller. And with logo design, that's the most important thing, is how well does it work when it's smaller? Because even with something like the Wendy's logo, which is a massive sign, that's still something that you're going to be looking at from blocks away. There aren't a lot of times where people are going to be close. A logo has to work well when you zoom in, but most people are going to be looking at it, from a long distance away. Or with something like a business card, they're going to be looking at like an arm's length away, something that's like less than 3/4 of an inch. So that's part of the reason why you get like these heavier line weights on the logos that we create, is that we're trying to make an image hold up well to scaling over time. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful and clear. If you have any more questions, you can get a hold of us at marketing.nachi.org. And thanks for your time.